Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Packer Universe podcast, aka the Pup List. We're a Green Bay Packers fan podcast that brings you topical and relevant Packers news, along with our most humble, subjective opinions. This is episode 324. We're recording this live on Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. This is the last week of Packers training camp coming up. It is upon us. We'll cover the win against the Colts, the continuing injuries, and the last preseason game coming up this weekend. Just a reminder, this is a video podcast also, besides it's a regular podcast, so go over to our YouTube channel to check that out. I'm your host, Tay, and joining me, as always, is our MVVP,
Ren. What up, Tay? How we doing on a Wednesday? You know how excited, Tay, we were, in mid-July. Training camp's about to start. And here we are, one, open practice left, which is the joint practice with the Seahawks. And I couldn't feel any more kind of meh about it, We get cut downs coming on Tuesday. So I guess that's something to, kind of wrap our heads around and wonder what that final 53 will look like.
Yeah, no, like tomorrow is Thursday, the 21st. That's the last day of open practice to the public. So if that's your last chance to get there and see this, obviously they'll do some more behind closed doors and stuff. But then this Saturday is the game against the Seahawks at home, last preseason game. And then Tuesday is the cut down, August 26th, down to 53. And usually for that, Ren, you and I get a sense of what this team probably will be like, and we get that feeling, right? We get that like, oh crap, or no, we're pretty good kind of feeling, because you're used to like 90 on the roster, and you're going through that for a few months, and you're like, oh yeah, we got plenty of guys and lots of depth,
Tay. Ton of depth.
And then all of a sudden, whoop, nope, you can see the bottom, and yikes, sometimes it's dangerous and scary. But I remember years ago we used to get scared after the 53-man roster cut down, and we kind of would panic a little bit. This year, I don't know. I guess when you look at the 53-man roster, some of the beat writers' predictions, I took a look at our friend Wendell Ferreira, his 53-man prediction like 2 days ago, and I was like, yeah, that looks good to me. Like what he has is kind of like a no-brainer. I didn't see any like glaring like, whoa, that's kind of risky, that's ballsy, that's a stretch. It was nothing like that. When you go through the roster, and I encourage true Packer fans to do, like the nuts Packers fans we are, when you do it, you'll be like, oh yeah, it makes sense. It's kind of like standard deduction. There's nothing going to be crazy, I think, on this 53-man cut down. So that's probably why, Ren, to me, I feel the same way you do. It's kind of like, okay, this Packers training camp, I mean, there's no like super drama action going on. All of a sudden in the last couple of weeks, yes, there's been injuries that I am a little bit kind of like, oh, it's kind of putting a little wet blanket on the whole thing. But besides that, I mean, it's not very exciting. It's not very flashy. There's no drama. And you kind of know who's going to be on this team. So that's kind of what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I think for the drama, we got, the Jordan left thumb surgery. That was it. And the injury bug. Yeah, and you're right. The injuries, it's just kind of exactly said right, Tay, a wet blanket. It's kind of been like, that Colts game, they don't dress 29 guys, Tay. And others have mentioned out there, even Golden and McManus, who were dressed, didn't play either. That's 31 guys, Tay, that did not play in that game. And there's a 93-man roster. That's literally a third of the players. So you're talking, they won a game against the Colts with second and mostly third string. So that part's good. Yep. But yeah, it's just kind of been, I mean, who gets up for second, third string football, with the Colts, and watching, El Gurzma and Clifford struggle a little bit, and just, yeah, it was a tough watch on Saturday at noon, Tay, I'll tell you that.
I will say, at the end of the game, when Clifford finally got the ball, I don't think he played into the fourth quarter late.
Yep.
He gets the ball, like the last drive, and he goes down there with the team and scores, and he runs it in. And I was like, wow, like how different a feeling it would have been to lose that game, because for the first half, 3 quarters, we weren't in this game at all, and it was just kind of like, whatever. But then, Clifford goes down, rallies, wins the game for them, and then the defense holds them back at the end there too. But that was kind of nice. It kind of kind of washed the bad taste in your mouth that you had from the previous game against the Jets. And so you kind of look at this team going, okay, yeah, great. Second, third string did fairly well. All right. Now we're looking good
against Colts team that was playing a lot of guys that were much higher up their depth chart. So again, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Clifford was 1 of 5 on that drive, Tay. So nothing otherworldly.
No.
That's for sure. But it's just preseason football is, years ago preseason football games were a lot different. I mean, a lot of guys out. They don't play as hard as they normally would. There's a lot of base concepts. It's just it can be a tough watch for just about any team, I imagine, out there.
Yeah, I think Willis looked like a nice game manager. He looked like he was supposed to look like we know him. That was comforting. He can run. He can extend the plays. Mostly good passes.
He couldn't have receivers, that's for sure. He had Julian Hicks and the other guy that is definitely a practice squad choice out there. I forget the other receiver that was his main piece on Saturday. No, that's not the name. So you pull up the depth chart, Tay. He's like 9 deep, but.
So I was happy with his performance. I was like, okay, that's Willis for you. When you look at the injuries here, and I'll bring it up while we talk about it, but obviously, like Jordan Love, he bonks his left thumb on a helmet late in his playing time against the Jets. Comes out that he has surgery on the left thumb, but even during the Colts warm-up, he was throwing the ball days after surgery, and you're like, okay, damn. Should I look into that? No. But even now, he was playing in practice. He wasn't doing, I think, 7-on-7s or 11-on-11s, but he was participating. And so
he was out there. Okay. He had a lot of nice plays yesterday. So he had a good day of practice. And remember, it's his left hand, not his throwing arm. So he's able to do just about everything, and he's back on the practice field. So that part's good. I don't know that he will even. Definitely no, he's not going to suit up on Saturday, Tay. So might give him a few reps in the red jersey tomorrow, obviously against the Seahawks, but that's going to be the extent of it for sure.
Yeah, and like you said, tomorrow is going to be the joint practice against the Seahawks, so that's going to be a good one to go to. But I'm still okay with Willis being our backup. I love it. I think he does well. I think the team's in good hands with Willis. If for some reason Jordan couldn't go, but it looks like. From all intents and purposes, he's going to be good to go. There shouldn't be anything to worry about with that left thumb, and he's participating in practice. And like you said, he's not going to suit up on Saturday, and we're probably going to see at least 30 people not being suited up. You're not going to see any starters. This is going to be a blah game. But if you want to watch those third strings, fourth strings compete, yes, this is the game to do it. These are those last 10-ish roster spots that are going to be fought over in this game.
Practice squad spots, I would say, more or less, Tay, because you get your 53. Most of that's already settled. And then obviously up to 17 if they do decide to keep the kicker McNamee, who had a bit of a struggle in Indy himself. So we'll see. Maybe they do just because they have the option there, but certainly might want to bring in a different kicker for the practice squad as well, outside of if they use that, designation for McNamee.
A lot of these names on the injury report are starters that you will not see this week. They will definitely probably make the roster cut down. Omar Brown was injured last week. He's a safety. They brought some other people, and I didn't do like a rosters move, like Cliff Notes or summary, because it was just kind of like low guys, camp bodies kind of coming in and out, that they had assigned because they like Omar Brown was out. So they're like, okay, let's get another safety in or whatever. So nothing really to speak of there. But a lot of these guys you see on this list will not play this weekend and will make the cut. So the one thing I wanted to add about the Colts game is Marshawn Lloyd. He kind of this was like his preseason start, right? Like everyone was watching him, and I thought he did okay. I didn't see the it out of him for the runs that he was doing, but I did see the it factor for his passing game. I thought that was great. He looked really good catching the ball out of the backfield. He even went down the sidelines a couple times to catch a Malik Willis ball, or not catch, but at least go after it. I loved seeing that, and I believe that last throw to him
the wheel route,
the one he got injured on, and so he comes up gimpy. He can kind of tell, you're like, that doesn't look good. Well, it turns into something more. It's a hamstring pull. So now you're like, damn, dude, this guy cannot catch a break. We'll see if that goes into the regular season, but I think it's going to. I just don't, I don't know. What do you make of that?
Yeah, post game, when Matt's addressed it now, it certainly sounds like may not be ready week 1, Tay. And when they give you that idea, that means they're not going to be ready. He's not going to be ready week 1. It's unfortunate, as far as his running, in the Colts game, the O-lines that were even starting in this game, Tay, not the easiest to run behind. You're talking basically every Packers starter not in the game. So again, look decent in pass pro, not terrible. And then again on the couple passing pieces, great one on that last one, that wheel route to the outside, and unfortunately gets hurt. And a lot of people, the Marshawn haters come out. Is this guy just going to be injury prone forever? I certainly hope not, because I really want to see what he can do, and that's going to be my thought moving forward. Is let's just get this guy healthy and bring him back, and hopefully, that's the end of Lloyd injuries, for a while. Other things that came out of there, obviously Baron Sorrell with a knee, and LaFleur even on that one.
Oh, we lost Ren. Here we go. There he is. Yeah, sorry, Ren.
So
we lost you for a minute.
That was you, Tay. I think that was operator error. Now that who knows with this thing, but again, Sorrell losing him, probably not going to start the season. And then that Omar Brown piece you brought up, he had a chest contusion. I know he stayed at least one night in Indy after that, so not a great injury. You have to see what's going on there. He was obviously a preseason darling with all his picks earlier in camp and family night, but I don't really have much else to say that came out of Indy. Again, Belton with the 5 penalties, we know that was kind of the talking point of the first half, and then Matt, chewing in his ear going into halftime, didn't have any penalties in the second half. I think he still played okay. Can't have those. They're like the illegal procedure penalties. Those are the ones that you're like, come on, that's the mental stuff there. Some of it, he got a little too, hot-headed and, competitive, and nothing wrong with the guy having competitive juice. Jordan Morgan, the guy continues to surprise me, Tay, because I can't say I was a believer at him playing tackle and playing it well, but he has consistently week to week, played it well, kind of just ho-hum, gets better week to week, and, you got to love to see it. They obviously spent a first-round pick on Morgan, so, hopefully they, did get one right, and, if you've got a starting tackle in the NFL that you spent that first-round pick on, you're never going to feel bad about it. So that part is, a good thing. There weren't a lot of players to really, pick out of that game and say, that gives me a lot of hope here, there, or anywhere, because, again, the guys just trying to fight for the 53 or, in most cases, for the practice squad. But Bo Melton, Tay, in the little time he's had, switching over to DB, he's played admirably. So we'll see. I think he's got one of those 16 practice squad spots for sure locked up, would be my guess. I do believe it. Yeah.
I hope so. When we all kind of look at that cornerback room and wonder, right? Wonder if was shallow and we didn't address it. But if he can hold his own, whether he makes the 53 man or not, I think that says something. And hopefully, Keyshawn puts puts his money where his mouth is, saying he can hang with the best. He's been touting that since end of last season. Let's see if he can do it. Let's see if he can step up. I just hope that that position doesn't come back to bite us.
I still think it's obviously a thin spot on the roster. If you stay healthy with Hobbs, obviously Nixon and Valentine, I think you're okay, Tay. But the reality is that rarely happens in an NFL season, and it starts dropping off, pretty precipitously from there. So, you got to figure a guy like Valentine being back with the team's going to make it just based on all his experience. And then, yeah, you just hope guys like King and Kamal Hadden, maybe they're still practice squad guys, but can continue to develop, and that you don't need them much throughout the course of the season.
One thing I stumbled upon yesterday was Romeo Doubs. Evidently, he kind of like came out of practice before the Colts game a little injured, but then it came out, I think yesterday or Monday, that he was fine. He came out and he didn't want to practice. So he was cleared, but then he didn't put himself into practice. And people are questioning okay, what's going on here now? Is there something more? What this guy seems to kind of do this from time to time. This is maybe the second time where he just doesn't want to participate, and it's his choice. So I don't know what's going on with that. I think maybe we'll see some more hopefully before the 53-man cut down about that. Maybe the media gets to talk to him or something, but it just seems like the top end of this wide receiving core is still being plagued by either a little bit of drama here or injuries or uncertainty. And, for the plethora of wide receivers that we thought we had in this room, it does seem to be a little unknown now what's going to happen. I think we all kind of know the top 6 probably or 7 that they might keep. They might keep 7, but if they're injured, what are you going to do? That? Yeah, you got to fill those spots. So I don't know. Still going into the season, Ren, I'm a little bit shaky on how this wide receiver core is going to shake out, and then secondly, how they're going to play.
I mean, yeah, they just haven't been together. That's the thing. But I know Dobbs did. He was catching balls from Love yesterday. Obviously, no open practice today, so who knows what goes on. So he was out there, made some nice plays as well, for that matter. Listen, I think Romeo's going to be fine this year. What they decide to do, moving into 26 and giving him another contract, not so sure there, Tabby. But he is in a contract year, so he's got to go ball out for the Packers, and not just for the Packers, but for himself to be anywhere and get a sizable deal, be it in Green Bay or somebody else after the season. So I don't really worry about Dobbs. If he's healthy, he'll play. I think he'll play well, and let the rest of the stuff be what it is. So.
Little bright side of things, I wanted to bring this up. This is so far the Packers that are ranked in the NFL top 100 for 2025, and we got 4, and I think this is probably it. Number 33, Josh Jacobs, running back. Number 30, safety Xavier McKinney, and then Jordan Love was ranked 68, and Rashawn Gary number 80. So we got 4 on there. I think that's pretty good, and I think that's it. I think what was it, a few weeks ago, Ren, we kind of went through the roster and said who are the Pro Bowl guys, right? And
right.
We picked out a few. I think I had 8. You had 6. But
potentially,
yeah, potentially. So I think this is kind of in that same vein, in that same wheelhouse where the NFL ranks players, whatever that ranking means and is, and you kind of see how it falls out. And right now we have 4, which is pretty good. Top 100, I think, is pretty good, and they're kind of obvious. Jacobs, McKinney, obviously. Gary, yeah, and Love. That one's good. Maybe questionable, but I know I'll get flack for that.
Yeah, I don't. That's certainly too low for me, Tay. You should get flack for that, but
yeah. So anyway, we got some Packers on the top 100.
Well, and I think that goes back to our experiment all those weeks ago in June. With regard to that, how many? It was really about is there enough top talent on this football team to really push deep into the playoffs and make a run? Obviously these four, you're going to have to see those guys move up the list. I mean, it's not a make or break year for Jordan. I'm positive Jordan's a solid quarterback, but is he, top 10, top 5? I think we'll have a better idea of that come the end of the season. If he has a healthy year, we'll really have a good idea there. But they'll need not only these guys to move up, but a few guys to move in. Obviously, they have some really good quality offensive linemen that could be in there. You've got Tucker Kraft. You've got the emerging Edgerrin Cooper. So there's a number of things that could change here. But yeah, if they want to, be a very competitive and successful football team in the NFC, they're certainly going to need to have more guys on the list and have these guys play even better than they have. And that's what 2025 will or won't tell us, Tay. And if there's not a lot of movement here and not a lot of addition, it's going to be a 10-7 kind of season. And I know that you and I and most of Packer universe doesn't want to see a 10-7 kind of ho-hum, whatever kind of season.
Well, I mean, do you think that's what's going to happen? I mean, just give me a quick, how you feeling, Ren, right now?
There are question marks, Tay, but I will say, obviously, year 2 at Halfley gives me some confidence based on how well the defense did play. Obviously, we know the Covington piece when he came in to, bring this D-line along. Let's see if he really, helps these guys like Lucas Van Ness take that jump, because that's what we have to see. Van Ness has to make a jump. A guy like that, you spent that capital on him. He's got to do it, and it's now or never. And, we'll find out. So there's going to be a lot of questions answered. We know Matt LaFleur can call a good game. You hope he's not hesitant as he's been, especially last year in big-time situations where he was maybe just a little too finesse and, not worthy of taking maybe a risk here and there. And I think he and the team needs to do that and be able to obviously execute in those situations as well. I think they can do those things. I think the defense can be good, but there's still a lot of kind of question behind both those things. So,
yeah, I think we definitely have to see some positive have them move in a positive direction in all the deficiencies that we kind of saw last year. Getting to the quarterback, stopping the run, offensive production with the wide receivers, all that stuff needs to happen. I think
drops can't happen at the rate they've happened. Stuff like that. They've got to be able to. Jacobs is a straw that stirs the drink on that offense. Got to be able to run the football and then open up the play action pass game. So that's kind of how that offense will go. And that starts with the line first. So
yeah. And I feel like our lines on both sides of the ball are pretty good. I like the position we're in with those right now. I did like what you said about MLF and how he needs to call games a little better. I totally agree. And it almost seemed like he like opened his bag early last year, especially when he had Malik Willis. He like had to, right? And it was like, whoa. And then he had Jaden Reed's flying around, and then all of a sudden, Jordan Love comes back and just vanilla. It was kind of like, okay.
Well, he had the injury, and so they had to kind of play to some of that too. And yeah, you hope again we'll see a little bit more creativity, some of that stuff we've seen in the past, and that they execute it the right way.
Well, speaking of some creativity, Ren, let's see. We got some themed dates set.
I was going to say, we going Brandon McManus, the referee in practice? No, what are we doing? Oh, you're uniform guy.
The uniform. Oh, the uniform. The Packers announced themes for their games this year. That a lot of them include ones you're familiar with, like the cancer awareness one, the salute to service. Well, most important is these alternate uniforms that we're really interested in.
Very important, Tay.
Very, very important
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, it's fun to get to to anticipate it and know when this is going to happen. I feel like last year, like second time we wore our white ones, so whatever. But now we do. Week 2 is the winter warning again. I don't think they're calling it winter warning. They're calling it something else, but unite and wear white. They're calling it. That's week 2 at home on that Thursday night football game against the Washington Commanders. And then week 9 is at home against the Panthers. They're wearing their new 1923 classic uniforms with the leatherhead helmets. So look forward to that. Wear all your gear then. Yeah, Ren, go out and get some of that new gear.
Yeah, I know you're repping it right now, Tay.
That's right.
I believe, is it possible that week 2 is also announced where Sterling Sharp will be there for his Pro Football Hall of Fame piece with the Green Bay Packers?
That is absolutely correct. I think they're going to do some ceremony at halftime. It will probably not be televised because that stuff is never televised.
Nope.
So you're going to have to be there for it, or maybe Packers.com will have it later on. But I hate that, actually. I mean, that's just a gripe and a pet peeve that they can't broadcast some of that stuff that is actually important to the game of football, rather than
especially Packers.
ads.
I mean, that's a huge thing, man. And of course, it's a Milwaukee ticket holder game, so I'll cry about that one in my beer here, Tay, and just be like, yeah, because Sterling was so awesome, man. He was like our first, when you and I are young guys, like
superstar.
Our first taste of good Packer football and a good Green Bay Packer. It had been a minute. So yeah, it's a bummer not to be able to see that, but it's pretty awesome that Sterling's going to return to Lambeau, and I look forward to hopefully, the Packers putting out that on their socials, because I'd definitely love to see it.
And then we move towards the game. I learned a couple days ago that my wife and daughter have surprised me for my birthday and are taking me to the Seahawks game on Saturday. So I'll be there. And I'm looking forward to it.
On your birthday, Tim.
On the day.
The actual day.
So
how old are you? Is this your 31st birthday, Tay?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Finally getting into your 30s here. Yeah, there you go.
I'm not that old that, my birth year will get a classic uniform throwback. I'm not that old. So
what are you? What's that? Is that Bart Starr era still? No. Is the head coach was what I'm saying, Tay. Is that Bart Starr head coach era? It might be.
Yeah, maybe
so.
Yeah, maybe Forrest Gregg era.
Well, now you're just taking some years off, Tay. I think Forrest came along in the 80s, my guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I actually went and we got these tickets. And we're gonna go, and then I thought, parking. We want to tailgate, so what am I gonna do for parking? That is a big issue. You really have to know to think about that. Like, what are you gonna do if you want to get close at all? Do anything? So I actually went on Packers website, went to their parking thing, and they have one link to this offsite that they are partners with that you can rent a spot from. And I got a spot in lot 15, which is right in front of Hinckley Field there. It's right
Hinkle Field?
Hinkle.
Hey, this is Clark we're talking about, Tay.
That's
Packer
right.
legend.
So it's in that lot that we say no one really uses. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. I'll be shooting some pictures and stuff from that location, and so if you guys are following us on socials, you can check that out. But I'm excited to go and just tailgate and just kind of like enjoy it, and not worry too much about it, and just enjoy this last preseason game and enjoy the atmosphere, the buzz.
It'll be warm. Doesn't matter if they win or lose. It's a Saturday. Yep. You don't have work the next day. It's all good, Tay. And it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Tay.
Thanks. So yeah, that's what's going on there. The Seahawks are coming to town. They probably are already in town. I should probably I live close, near Appleton, downtown Appleton. I should go check them out. They're probably at the Radisson in downtown Appleton right now.
Who do we like off the top of your head? How many Seahawks could we even name? That's a tough one, Tay. So.
What is the quarterback went to the Raiders, didn't he? Geno.
Yeah. The Raiders traded for him. They brought in Minnesota's quarterback from last year, who torched us. Had like a perfect game, and I can't even remember his name. So
he's the red-haired guy.
Is he red haired? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's redhead. Okay, I'll take you.
Wow.
I always
Yeah.
want to for him. I always want to say Sam Bradford, and I know it's not Sam Bradford. But
No.
yeah, I can't remember.
So Mike McDonald's their new coach. This is his second season. I didn't know this until I kind of like came upon it, but Bo Melton was actually drafted in the 7th round by the Seahawks in 2022. He was a pick by the Seahawks. So yeah, maybe Bo's on both sides of the ball. Well, he was on both sides of the ball. Now he's mostly on cornerback. But yeah, maybe he I don't know if he's going to be playing. Do they play Bo Melton?
Bo Melton's getting playing time on Saturday.
All right, I didn't know how thin the cornerback room was for them, and they'll play him or not. They're like, maybe we need him. I don't know. So anyway, the Seahawks are coming up. So, man. Ren, we're going to get together next week for the 53-man roster cut down reaction. So we'll be doing that next week. I'll have to talk to you about the timing. Do we do that the day of, or do we do that the day in our weekly Wednesday
We'll figure
schedule?
it out, but there's likely not a surprise 2014 Josh Sitton cut kind of thing happening on the 53-man cut down. I don't think there's going to be too many tears shed for like, oh my God, I can't believe he didn't make the team. That's unlikely. There could be a few surprises. I think, people have been talking about Isaiah Simmons as he's not played great football. He obviously has had a lot of opportunity to play better football, getting a lot of snaps in these games, but somebody like that could end up and surprise us a little bit, but I wouldn't be surprised myself. So
yeah, there's always at least one that you're like, dang, they're gonna keep that guy and they're gonna cut this guy. So there's always one of those. So just your guess is as good as mine. So we'll see. That's Tuesday, the 26th. Pretty soon after your birthday, Ren. So just want to give a shout out to all Packer Universe. Happy birthday, Ren, coming up.
Oh, thank you, Tay. It's the Tay and Ren birthday, double day, one day apart. So essentially, we got the 24th smashed in, and then us on those odd numbers. So
let's see. Oh, yeah, we got a happy birthday from the Newsacast podcast.
Oh, how about very nice?
Listening.
Thank you. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, and then we got Burley Sullivan, Love to Golden, gonna be fun. So I agree. I mean, there's a lot of talk, a lot of hype, a lot of good things from the beat writers and fans saying, man, Golden's gonna be great. And I hope that's the case. I don't want to say it, I don't want to jinx it, but it's looking like that, right?
Hey, I'll tell you, they spent the first round pick in 23 years or 22 years on Matthew Golden. They didn't do it, just by, we'll take a flyer on this guy. And he's lived up to the billing all camp and, mini camp and OTAs. Golden's been great. Says the right thing, works hard, not been injured. Obviously showing off his skill set right away. So, Matthew Golden's going to be fun to watch all season long today. I think he's going to have a very good rookie season. We talking 1,000-yard receiver right out the gate. Don't know about that, but if he's healthy, he's going to have a heck of a year and certainly going to give Jordan, a lot of options and certainly open it up for a lot of other guys too. And that's where the football will go throughout the course of the season is whoever's open is going to get it, but he's going to help all those other guys see more targets too.
I hope so. And you see it now because it's fantasy football season, Ren, and people are like, oh, you better snatch up some Matthew Golden because that guy's going to be a fantasy machine. And I'm just like, ooh, don't jinx us.
I would never take a Packer wide receiver high in fantasy football today just because there's too many of them. And the Packer offense is set up to spread the ball out to who's open. That's where the ball goes. They don't just kind of nail in one guy. I'm sure if Matthew's great, the targets, will obviously go there more often than we would think about. But still, folks out there, fantasy folks, don't be taking Packer wide receivers high. That would be my advice.
I hear you, but maybe this is the ungolden rule or something. The golden rule to take this guy now. Who knows? But Ren, that's all I got. Let's get out of here. If you haven't followed us on socials, please do so. YouTube channel subscription, that'd be great too. Thanks for all the people in the chat room tonight during our live show. We appreciate that. We'll be back next week and the following to get ready for the season. Ren, thank you for joining me tonight, and have a great birthday.
Thanks. Happy birthday to you, Tay. Until episode 325, Tay, on the Pup List.